Anonymous thoughts on the government shutdown.
Plus, find out how Troy University is taking a stand against bullying. Stay tuned to our TrojanVision Nightly News starts now.
From the High Definition Digital Production Center on the Troy campus, with news from Troy University locations around the world, this is Troy TrojanVision Nightly News.
Hello and welcome to Troy TrojanVision Nightly News for October 21st, 2013. I'm Jamarlo Phillips.
And I'm Christina Cook. Thank you for joining us this evening. The recent shutdown between the top two political parties has many American politicians and citizens alike pointing fingers. And now it's difficult to comprehend who is to blame and what the argument really is about. Dustin Garner sat down with a local economist to get a better understanding of what really is going on at our nation's capital.
Reoccurring problems with government spending actually pop up every couple of months now, with the recent partial government shutdown as a new precedent to how bad it's getting. Many Americans are left confused.
This isn't something that just sprung out randomly this year.
Troy University Assistant Professor of Economics Daniel Smith says that since 2002, government spending has increased 40%, and even solutions like the one that just passed to get the government up and running again do not solve the underlying issue. And if you're blaming all of this on just one party, you're just wasting your time.
This has been an ongoing concern, especially for economists.
And if you think that the rough estimate of $15 to $17 trillion of acquired debt is a lot, that's a dishonest figure according to Smith. He says that the actual U.S. debt is overwhelming.
Standard accounting procedures that they should be employing to account for our total debt is $211 trillion. What the current law is, let alone how a new piece of legislation affects what the current law is, it's so hard to account for all of those. And even the politicians themselves aren't reading these bills that they're passing. With the Federal Register that contains all the regulations, I think it's somewhere around 80,000 pages right now. It's just impossible for anyone to fully grasp.
The debate over the bill that recently ended the partial government shutdown was far more than just about Obamacare or the Affordable Care Act. Smith says that many voters cannot possibly comprehend everything attached to this bill, and to be honest, many political leaders cannot as well. So who does understand this?
Who knows what's in the bills? It's largely sections are highly influenced by special interest groups. So like pharmaceutical industry says, hey, we would recommend this wording. And they give it to a politician that they donate to, and that works its way into the bill. You tie together enough of those special interest group pages and you get a bill that's really complicated, hard to understand, and contradicts itself and increases spending drastically.
So according to Smith, the problem our country faces is that both parties are being heavily influenced by corporations that are mostly interested in benefiting themselves. In addition, if you look at the United States as a business, we spend a lot of our money on government-funded programs, and different Americans have their different preferences on which program they'd like to keep and which program they'd like to throw away.
Most people would support an abstract, let's cut government spending. However, when it comes to cutting the program that you support individually, everyone's like, well, cut other people's program and not my program.
And to relate this to students, a contributing factor in the country's debt are student loans given out by the government. Someone has got to pay the bills, and right now the United States is finding it hard to find a clear solution to that problem. Judson Garner, Troy, TrojanVision News.
And we have to reiterate that the economic opinions expressed in this story are Daniel Smith's.
Troy University and other area organizations are trying to help spread the word about dangers of bullying. And as a part of Bullying Awareness Month, a special town hall meeting will take place at 6 p.m. this Thursday in Hawkins Hall, room 122, where community leaders, mental health experts, and school officials will discuss the issue of bullying. The presenters will take questions from community members and receive their input and feedback for use in developing solutions that can be implemented in Pike County. Coordinator of Learning Initiatives Jonathan Seelan tells us why it is important for students to get involved in Thursday's meeting.
As college students go different places in our community, volunteer, shop, things of that nature, youth as well as school-age kids, are looking at our college students as role models. And so they're part of the solution, and part of that role is just taking on some accountability where we look out for that type of behavior and then stop it whenever possible.
Students and parents are encouraged to attend the session, and a candlelight vigil will be held immediately following to remember those who have taken their own lives due to bullying. Also on Saturday, there will be a bully-proof 5K run walk to help raise money to support Troy City and Pike County schools to purchase a bullying and cyberbullying curriculum. Well, Christina, this month we are meeting new people in the Troy community with interesting stories and talents.
You know what, that's right, Jamarlo. And today we will introduce to you a young woman who's sharing her leadership skills with a number of organizations on Troy campus. Megan Brunson has the story.
Bethany Wilson is a Troy student dedicated to staying involved on campus. She's involved in numerous campus organizations, including the Red Cross Campus Club and the AD PR Society.
I think that she is an absolute angel. She always shows up on time. She definitely contributes to the group in a positive way. I honestly don't know what I would do without her.
Bethany Wilson does more than just stay involved on campus. She partakes in charity through membership in Kappa Delta. Kappa Delta sorority's philanthropy is Prevent Child Abuse America, a cause Wilson supports through participation.
Bethany is very enthusiastic about our philanthropy. She is always willing to help in any situation, in the big jobs, but also in like the little small detail jobs. She's always willing to help and to lend a hand, and she definitely always tries to make it fun.
Wilson feels that being involved on campus is the best way to give back to Troy University.
Troy's giving me my education, so by serving in different leadership positions, I'm devoting my time and service to make the university a better place.
Wilson looks back on the memories she's gained through experience with Prevent Child Abuse America and feels good about volunteering.
Such a great feeling to know that I'm doing something to help make a difference in children's lives.
Wilson plans to continue her involvement with charity work after she graduates. Megan Brunson, Troy, TrojanVision News.
And tune in for the rest of the week for more Trojan Profile series.
And now taking a look at news from around the state. In Tuscaloosa, police say an ex-deputy sheriff ran his wife and her male companion off the road, killing them both before fatally shooting himself. Police say the 52-year-old man was found yesterday morning with a single gunshot wound to his head.
And in Montgomery, zoo officials say they're trying to determine what led to the death of a baby Indian rhinoceros. The animal was found dead at the zoo on Friday.
And in Birmingham, the Southwestern Athletic Conference has announced that it is working with the Grambling officials to ensure that the appropriate actions are made to resolve the continuing standoff between the school's football players and administration. The SWAC says Grambling had not been fined for forfeiting its scheduled game Saturday at Jackson State.
And still to come on TrojanVision Nightly News, the soccer team honored the seniors on Sunday and sent them out with a win on a conference. Danielle Percival will have the details and more later on in sport. Now Danielle Percival joins us with a look at sports. So Danielle, I think this weekend was a pretty big weekend for our soccer seniors. Every now and then they should take the time to recognize those seniors in those different sporting categories, and this weekend was special for the soccer seniors.
Well, that's right, Christina. It was one of the final home games, so they were honored, and we'll get into a full recap of the game coming up. The Trojan soccer team was the only team in action at home this weekend, and as Mitchell Spoon shows us, the team sent the seniors out the right way on Senior Day.
On Sunday, the Troy soccer team held a Senior Day ceremony for its 5 seniors moments before kickoff against the South Alabama Jaguars. The seniors honored were Samantha Morgan, Maddie Teakin, Cecilia Thorngren, Caitlin Buono, and Madison Winter.
Well, I think they've all developed in their own unique way. They're not, just a kind of a clone of what should be. I think it's neat. You've got such a neat collective group of individuals that come together as a team and all bring a different dynamic, whether it's being goofy, whether it's working hard, whether it's quietly doing their job, whether it's sitting in the goal and taking a beating like she did today. There's all kinds of different things that you've seen from the different seniors, and that's something great to learn from. You can't have all the same player. You got to have a variety, and that showed today.
In the match itself, the Trojans and Jaguars played a very physical game, with the Trojans wanting to rebound from its loss to Georgia State, and the Jaguars looking to get things rolling again after suffering a defeat from Western Kentucky. The Trojans played what head coach Chris Bentley called a championship-type match.
You saw a team that battled today. It was a championship-type game. There was fouls. There were, I mean, you name it. You've got people went to war. There were great soccer that was played. There was, I mean, everything that you could possibly see within there. It's just a lot of good competition. I think it was a good game to watch. So, you know, I think that's the kind of thing that our girls need to do, continue to move forward. But for our seniors in particular, I think they led in a good way, competed, and the girls followed suit. It was great.
In the 66th minute, freshman Niecy Jennings scored the lone goal for the Trojans, and a late defensive stand held the Jaguars scoreless, giving the Trojans the victory. With the win, the Trojans secured a winning season at home with their record currently at 5-2. Coach Bentley hopes that this home victory can carry on to improve the away record both with their last game and in the postseason.
I think it's great. We have a great fan base. I think that we have a lot of fun playing at home. You know, it's comfortable here. I think that's great. But, you know, we've got to improve our away record, too, and ultimately the postseason is away. So if it was here, it'd be great, but we got to get on the road and do some things as well. So hopefully we can take this into our next few games.
Mitchell Spoon, Troy, TrojanVision Sports.
The team will wrap up the home schedule with a match on Thursday against Louisiana Monroe at 3 p.m. And while the soccer team has almost completed the season, the Trojan cross country team did run their final meet of the regular season on Friday at the Crimson Classic. All 8 athletes on the women's team ran a season-best 5K time, with Julia Ostendorf leading the charge. For the men's team, there were several season bests as well, with Enoch Karui finishing first among the men. Travis Lucas completed his first 8K of the season, while Madison Estes and Shaquille Parker both posted their fastest times of the season. The Trojans now have a weekend off before the biggest test of the season, the Sunbelt Cross Country Championships, which will be run on the home course on November 2nd. The Trojan volleyball team's Lone Star State road trip was not a successful one, as the Trojans dropped both matches this weekend. Following a tough 4-set loss to Texas State on Friday, the Trojans lost in 5 sets to UT Arlington on Sunday. The Trojans battled back from being down 2 sets to force a deciding 5th set, but were unable to close the deal. Troy jumped out to a 6-1 lead in the deciding frame, but the Mavericks proved to be too much for Troy. Blair Winston recorded 28 kills in the contest, which is something no Trojan had ever done since becoming a member of the Sun Belt in 2005. The losses moved the Trojans to 9-14 overall and 4-5 in conference competition. And though there wasn't any Trojan football this past weekend, having a bye week come at this point in the season could be considered a win. The Trojans have a tough second half of the schedule, including 2 Thursday night games and 1 Friday contest in their 5 remaining games. But according to the players, having some time off was beneficial in preparing them for the task ahead.
It actually couldn't have came better. I feel like we had a lot of people banged up. Gave us a good amount of rest so we can get ready for a big game.
Had a good practice last night. A lot of energy, which I was hoping would be the fact, because they have had some time off and time away from us, and I think it was productive to this as far as what I saw last night on the practice field.
The team will be on the road taking on the Western Kentucky Hilltoppers on Saturday in Bowling Green. Both teams post the same overall record at 4-3, but the Trojans are 2-1 in conference play, while the Hilltoppers are only 1-2. So Jamarlo, Christina, a very exciting weekend for the soccer team, with those 5 seniors being honored before the game and being able to pick up a win against a conference rival. Wish them the best of luck as they finish up the home schedule, and hopefully lots of fans will be able to turn out and be there for the last game of the season at home on Thursday.
Yep, let's hope so, and best of luck to our soccer team. Thanks so much, Danielle.
Thank you.